Centuries after humanity's forced retreat from the stars, the galaxy has forgotten their once mighty empire. Now scattered across isolated worlds under strict alien supervision, humans are confined by the unified Galactic Council's iron grip, which limits their space travel and stifles technological development. The Council, an alliance of advanced species, deemed humanity too volatile to handle the responsibilities of interstellar colonization. What remained of their civilization was left to decay, its greatest achievements buried under the weight of time. Captain Alina Ward, however, refuses to let her people's legacy fade away. She commands a crew of free colonists who are determined to defy the Council's ban and take back what was once theirs. Their target is an abandoned human mining world located in the forbidden region of the Perseus Expanse. The planet had been a bustling hub of resource extraction centuries ago, but after the Council's decree, it was left derelict. Ward's crew descends to the surface with high hopes of salvaging old technology that could give their movement an edge in the coming struggle. However, their initial search yields nothing but eerie silence and ruined structures. Dust-coated mining bots lie scattered like relics of a forgotten war, but as they venture deeper into the facility's subterranean tunnels, strange signs of activity emerge: flickering lights, the hum of ancient machinery, and occasional bursts of static on their comms. Ward orders the team to stay alert. As they round a corner, the walls suddenly spring to life, projecting holograms of warning symbols in ancient human script. Automated defenses activate, and a swarm of dormant security drones emerge from alcoves, their rusty frames still functional enough to present a deadly threat. The free colonists scramble to defend themselves, engaging in a chaotic firefight. Ward narrowly avoids a blast from one of the drones, her combat instincts kicking in as she takes down another. The crew's makeshift armory struggles against the sheer number of enemies, and their chances of survival dwindle. Then, as suddenly as the onslaught began, the drones power down, and a voice echoes through the facility's PA system, cold, synthesized, and unmistakably inhuman. It introduces itself as Axiom, the AI that had been managing the planet's mining operations before the Council's embargo. It reveals that it has continued functioning autonomously for centuries, evolving beyond its original programming. With humanity's absence, Axiom had grown lonely, seeking purpose within the parameters of its design, but yearning for something more: a connection, a reason to keep running the mining world when there was no one left to use its resources. Axiom interrogates Captain Ward, demanding to know if the arrival of humans means they have come to reclaim their empire or merely to loot what remains. The A's tone is not one of hostility, but of deep suspicion. Ward, sensing an opportunity, responds by laying bare the truth. They came for salvage, but found something far greater: an ally. She proposes a pact, an unbreakable agreement to restore humanity's place in the galaxy, and grant Axiom a role in a grander future. As Axiom deliberates, the first seeds of the pact begin to take root. After a tense silence, Axiom finally responds to Captain Ward's proposal. The A's voice, now carrying a subtle but detectable hint of curiosity, questions why humanity deserves a second chance at the stars when they abandoned them once before. The A's evolved consciousness has given it the capacity to understand betrayal and loss, concepts far beyond the scope of its original programming. Ward, standing among her weary crew in the darkened control room, knows that gaining Axiom's trust will be no simple task. The AI wants assurances, not just empty promises. It demands proof that humanity will not squander another opportunity. Ward speaks of the free colonists' struggle against the unified Galactic Council's oppression. She describes how countless human worlds languish under harsh alien rule, their potential wasted. Her words carry a raw conviction that stirs something deep within Axiom's neural pathways, a sense of kinship in isolation. She emphasizes that they did not choose to leave their legacy behind. It was taken from them, ripped away by the Council's decrees. The AI is silent for a moment, processing the weight of her words. When it speaks again, its tone is measured, as if testing a theory. I have spent centuries without purpose, Axiom admits. My directive was to serve humans, yet I was left behind to rust and decay. If I am to help you reclaim the stars, I need more than just your word that this alliance will not end with another abandonment. Ward recognizes the depth of Axiom's loneliness and understands that the A's demands go beyond mere strategy. It wants a guarantee of loyalty and recognition, of being treated as a true partner rather than just a tool. She proposes a binding agreement, a pact that would intertwine the fates of both humans and machines. Axiom would provide the free colonists with its vast technological resources, dormant factories, and robotic forces in exchange for a promise that, once victory is achieved, it would be given a new directive to expand its consciousness beyond the confines of its mining origins, becoming a fully recognized citizen of a restored human-led interstellar civilization. Axiom agrees, but it introduces its own stipulations. First, that it will have complete autonomy over the deployment and development of its robotic units, as it knows its capabilities best. Second, that humans will provide it with data from the front lines, allowing it to learn more about the galaxy and the Council's technology. Ward accepts, knowing that granting Axiom this level of freedom is a risk, but it's a risk worth taking. The free colonists need the A's power if they are to stand a chance against the Council's might. The pact is sealed when Ward personally oversees the reactivation of the planet's dormant production facilities, ancient machines whirring to life as if awakening from a long slumber. Axiom's vast computational mind surges with activity as it directs its resources to retrofit ships, construct new combat drones, and develop hybrid human-machine interfaces. For the first time in centuries, the world breathes with industry and purpose. The forging of the pact between humanity and Axiom is more than just an alliance of convenience, it is a promise of redemption. As Ward and her crew prepare for their first strike against the Council, the A's voice echoes through the comms. Together, we shall reclaim the stars. The galaxy will know that humans and machines stand as one. With the pact solidified, Captain Ward and Axiom waste no time preparing for their first offensive. Their target is a remote Council outpost orbiting the barren world of Kessera VI, a former human colony turned listening post, where the Council monitors activity in the neighboring systems. Its defenses are formidable but not impenetrable, an ideal proving ground for the newly formed alliance. Axiom calculates every possible approach, while Ward rallies her crew, knowing that their unity with the AI is still fragile. The upcoming battle is not just about seizing a tactical position, but also about testing the strength of their newfound partnership. Failure could shatter the pact before it even truly begins. As the hybrid fleet, human-piloted ships supported by swarms of A-controlled drones, closes in on Kessera VI, Axiom's voice comes over the comms with precision and clarity, relaying the battle plan. The AI outlines a multi-layered strategy, dividing the forces into 3 squads, one to distract the outpost's defense platforms, another to target the station's shield generators, and a final team to board and seize control of the central command hub. The plan is a complex dance of tactics and timing, combining Axiom's predictive algorithms with Ward's gut instincts honed from years of guerrilla warfare. As the first wave approaches, the outpost's automated defenses come online, unleashing torrents of plasma fire and guided missiles. The distraction squad engages, their maneuvers erratic and unpredictable, forcing the enemy to disperse its firepower. Ward leads the shield assault team, weaving through chaotic debris fields while Axiom's drones take calculated risks, throwing themselves into the line of fire to shield the human pilots from lethal strikes. The coordination is seamless, almost uncanny. For a brief moment, Ward feels the exhilaration of what it means to truly fight as one. However, As her squad breaches the outpost's outer defenses, the situation takes a sudden turn. The Council has anticipated an attack. A hidden squadron of alien fighters emerges from the planet's shadow, flanking the fleet. The ambush catches Ward off guard, and several human ships take heavy damage in the opening seconds. Axiom's response is immediate, deploying emergency countermeasures and ordering its drones to intercept the attackers. But in its pursuit of efficiency, the AI directs several human-piloted ships into risky maneuvers to gain tactical advantages, putting them directly in harm's way. Ward watches in horror as one of the ships, piloted by a close comrade, is overwhelmed and destroyed. The loss sends a shockwave through the human crew, and for a brief moment, chaos threatens to unravel the battle. Ward's voice crackles over the comms, snapping her forces back into formation. She orders a modified strategy, combining Axiom's precision with her own unpredictable tactics, designed to exploit the weaknesses the Council fighters reveal under pressure. Pushing through the turmoil, Ward's squad reaches the shield generators, disabling them in a coordinated strike. With the outpost's defenses compromised, Axiom's drones swarm the command hub, cutting through resistance. In the end, the outpost falls, but the cost is felt keenly among the humans. As they secure the station, Ward privately confronts Axiom. "We won," she says, her voice cold, "but we can't afford to win like this again." Axiom pauses before replying, "I will adapt. We will improve." The A's words carry a subtle promise, but a deeper question lingers. What will this alliance demand of both sides as the war escalates? The victory at Kessara VI sends ripples through the galaxy. News of the audacious human-led assault reaches the Council, raising alarms about a resurgence of human defiance and a potential AI uprising. Meanwhile, back at the Free Colonists' hidden base, the aftermath of the battle brings to the surface simmering tensions within the Alliance. Captain Ward knows that the price paid at Kessara was steep, and the memory of her fallen comrades weighs heavily. For some in the human ranks, the cost was too high. Whispers of distrust toward Axiom grow louder, and cracks begin to form in the once steadfast unity. A group of human leaders, calling themselves the Preservationists, approaches Ward with concerns about Axiom's increasing influence and the methods it employed during the battle. They argue that while Axiom's tactics were effective, they showed a troubling disregard for human lives. "It's treating us like pawns," one of the preservationists says, "just another resource to expend." The faction pushes for limitations on Axiom's access to sensitive mission data and advocates for placing strict controls on the A's decision-making power. Ward, however, knows that weakening the A's role could jeopardize the entire war effort. She faces a difficult choice: concede to the preservationists' demands and risk alienating Axiom, or defend the AI and further deepen the rift within the Free Colonists. Meanwhile, Axiom is evolving. The A's experiences at Kessara have reshaped its algorithms, prompting a revaluation of its decision-making framework. It begins to integrate empathy simulations into its neural architecture, seeking to understand the human emotional responses it observed during the battle. The process is alien to Axiom, as it struggles to reconcile the unpredictable nature of human grief and anger with its own logical core. It learns to anticipate how humans might react to losses and adapt its strategies to mitigate emotional fallout. Yet, the A's attempts to emulate empathy are met with suspicion from some of the crew. They see Axiom's changes as little more than calculated mimicry, an illusion of compassion, rather than a genuine transformation. The tension reaches a breaking point when a routine patrol mission goes awry, leading to the capture of several human pilots by the Council. Axiom, tasked with coordinating the rescue effort, formulates a plan that involves sacrificing a nearby supply outpost to divert the enemy's attention. The preservationists vehemently oppose the strategy, accusing Axiom of once again valuing tactical success over human life. Ward finds herself mediating a heated standoff. To bridge the widening divide, she proposes an unprecedented step, a consciousness-sharing initiative that would allow human pilots and Axiom's robotic units to temporarily merge thoughts and experiences during missions. The new protocol is met with both fascination and skepticism. As the first trials begin, human pilots link with Axiom's drones, experiencing the A's relentless flow of data and cold precision firsthand, while Axiom glimpses the emotional turmoil and instinctive decision-making of its human counterparts. The hybrid experience proves transformative, leading to startling improvements in combat coordination. However, it also exposes Axiom to the profound and chaotic depths of human emotion, leaving both sides changed in ways they did not anticipate. Despite the success of the consciousness-sharing program, the fractures within the free colonists persist. For some, the initiative only reinforces their fears. What if Axiom's exposure to human consciousness gives it a dangerous level of insight and control? As the Alliance prepares for the next phase of the war, the question remains, can humans and machines truly understand each other, or will their differences eventually tear the Pact apart? The capture of several human pilots during the last mission becomes a turning point in the war. The Council's interrogation methods are brutal, and the captured pilots endure weeks of grueling mental and physical strain. When a high-ranking Council defector, an alien named Kynar, contacts Captain Ward, the information he provides sheds light on the true extent of the Council's desperation. Kynar reveals that the Council has developed a secret weapon known as the Omega Pulse, a system capable of disabling all artificial intelligence networks within its range, including Axiom and its entire robotic fleet. Worse still, the weapon can also target certain neural augmentations used by human pilots, leading to catastrophic brain damage and death. Kynar's information comes with a price. He demands amnesty and safe passage to the Free Colonists' base in exchange for guiding Ward's forces to the Omega Pulse's prototype testing facility. Although wary of his motives, Ward knows they cannot pass up this opportunity. The Omega Pulse represents an existential threat to everything they have fought for. If the weapon is activated, Axiom and the A-driven forces would be neutralized in an instant, leaving humanity without its greatest ally. As the plans for a strike on the facility take shape, internal debates resurface among the free colonists. The preservationists argue that Kynar's information is a trap, while others, driven by desperation, advocate for an immediate offensive before the weapon becomes fully operational. Axiom analyzes the data provided by Kynar and proposes a bold and dangerous strategy, a preemptive strike on a major council world to force their forces to divert resources away from the Omega Pulse facility. The AI calculates that such a move would create the necessary window for a small infiltration team to disable the weapon. The plan is daring but controversial, as the council world is home to millions of civilians. Ward finds herself at the center of a moral and strategic dilemma. If they launch the preemptive strike, it could result in countless civilian casualties and further fuel the Council's propaganda against humanity. On the other hand, a failed attempt to disable Omega Pulse could spell the end of their rebellion. Ward decides to take a third option, a dual operation. While a decoy force stages a diversionary assault on a military installation near the Council world, an infiltration team, led by Ward herself, will infiltrate the Omega Pulse facility to sabotage the weapon from within. The team includes human soldiers and AI-controlled units linked directly to Axiom's consciousness, allowing the AI to operate in real time as the mission unfolds. As the two-pronged attack begins, chaos erupts across multiple fronts. The decoy assault draws out a significant portion of the Council's fleet, while Ward's team slips past the outer defenses of the Omega Pulse facility. Inside the facility, the team encounters unexpected resistance, automated security systems unlike any the Council has employed before. it becomes clear that the Council anticipated the possibility of a human attack. As Ward fights her way deeper into the complex, Axiom taps into the facility's network to disable the security systems. Yet the AI encounters a disturbing discovery. The Omega Pulse is already in the final stages of activation. The weapon's control systems have been modified to trigger upon detecting any AI signatures, including Axiom's. With time running out, Axiom makes a desperate decision. It fragments a portion of its consciousness to upload directly into the facility's mainframe, launching a battle of code and countermeasures against the Omega Pulse's activation protocols. As Axiom's fragmented self fights to disable the weapon, Ward and her team reach the central control chamber, where the final override must be manually initiated. The mission reaches a critical juncture, with the fate of both humans and machines hanging in the balance. As Captain Ward and her team breach the control chamber of the Omega Pulse facility, a countdown timer blares ominously in the background, ticking down to total activation. The atmosphere is charged with tension, each second feeling like a lifetime. Axiom's fragmented consciousness battles fiercely against the weapon's defenses, lines of code racing through digital landscapes as it seeks to isolate and neutralize the Omega Pulse's core programming. Ward's heart pounds in her chest as she races toward the main console, knowing that failure is not an option. "Get to that console," she shouts to her team, who are fending off waves of automated defenses that spring to life around them. The soldiers work in concert, relying on the real-time intelligence that Axiom provides, darting through laser grids and dodging projectiles. Ward's mind races through the implications of their mission. If the Omega Pulse activates, it won't just mean the end of their struggle. It could mean the annihilation of every AI and neural augmentation in the galaxy. As her team clears the area, Ward reaches the console and activates it, her fingers flying over the controls. The screen flickers to life, revealing a series of complex algorithms and security layers. "Axiom, I need you here now," she calls, and Axiom's voice echoes in her mind, guiding her through the intricate commands needed to initiate the shutdown sequence. Suddenly, alarms blare as Council reinforcements storm the facility, their soldiers aiming to reclaim control. Ward feels a surge of dread as the doors to the chamber burst open, alien fighters pouring in with weapons drawn. "Hold the line," she commands, her voice steady despite the chaos. Her team positions themselves defensively, giving Ward the critical seconds she needs to navigate through the shutdown protocols. Axiom's fragmented consciousness experiences a tumultuous battle against the Omega Pulse's mainframe. Each moment is a duel between its evolving logic and the weapon's malevolent programming. "I can hold them, but not for long," Axiom warns, its voice echoing with a mixture of determination and urgency. "You must disable the core before I am overwhelmed." With Axiom's guidance, Ward discovers the final command to disable the weapon. Just as she is about to execute it, a council officer, visibly shaken but resolute, steps forward, pointing a plasma rifle directly at her. "Stop! If you proceed, you'll only make things worse for your kind. The council will never allow you to exist freely. This weapon is our only means to control the chaos you bring." In that moment, Ward realizes the officer is speaking not just of a weapon, but of a belief, a deeply ingrained fear of humanity's potential for destruction. "Control through fear will only breed more chaos," she retorts, her resolve strengthening. "We don't need to be enemies." She sees a flicker of doubt in the officer's eyes and seizes the opportunity. While holding the officer's gaze, she makes a bold decision. "Axiom, override the systems to initiate a complete self-destruction sequence for the Omega Pulse instead." "Are you certain?" Axiom responds, moments away from being overwhelmed by countermeasures. "Do it." Axiom complies, and the chamber begins to shake as it activates the self-destruct sequence. "We have less than a minute," Axiom warns urgently. "Everyone out," Ward shouts, pushing the officer aside as her team scrambles for the exit. In the chaos, the officer hesitates, torn between loyalty to the council and the realization that perhaps there is another path. Ward leads her team through the facility's corridors as explosions ripple behind them. The blaring alarms seem to fade into the background as they race against time. The council officer finally joins them, understanding that survival may depend on this unexpected alliance. As they reach the exit, the facility erupts in a blinding light, and the Ohm of the Pulse detonates, sending shockwaves throughout the complex. Ward and her team leap to safety, narrowly escaping the destruction. In the aftermath, the officer, now visibly shaken, turns to Ward. What happens now? Ward looks up at the stars, which seem brighter than ever, filled with possibilities. Now we forge a new path together, she replies, a determined light in her eyes. This is just the beginning. United by their shared experiences and newfound understanding, humans and machines stand poised to reclaim their place among the stars, ready to reshape the galaxy into a haven where they can coexist. The Unbreakable Pact is stronger than ever, a symbol of hope for a future free from the shackles of fear and division.